going to take a quick look at another database, JSTOR. JSTOR provides full-text articles for the economics, politics, social sciences, humanities and arts subjects. So let's go back to MetaLib and select the database from the list. Scrolling down until we see JSTOR. You'll note that there's two JSTORs. The first one is JSTOR Arts and Sciences Collection, and the second one is JSTOR Ecology and Botany Collection. You will only ever need to use the Arts and Sciences Collection, so let's click on the name. So this is the home page for JSTOR. It defaults with the basic search engine, so the first thing that we need to do is click on Advanced Search. At university level, you should be making use of Advanced Search. It gives you more options to create a more focused search inquiry. So, like the last database, the top section is where you can enter your keywords. Again, you can change the field name. And the lower section is where you can put your limiting factors in. There are a lot less options on this database, but we can still choose what type of article we want. For example, do we want it to be a journal article, a review article, or a pamphlet? The age range of publication. We can also change languages. If you are interested in a specific subject area, for example business, you can click on the tick box and it will only search business journals. If you are not sure, then leave this blank. So let's have a go searching. We're going to type in childhood obesity and advertising. Now I only want to look at articles. I'm only interested in information from 2007 to 2012. And now we're going to hit search. So, just like the last one, we have our list of results down here. But if we want to modify our search, on this one we have to go back to the search page. We can click on Summary. This gives us the abstract, so the overview of the information in the article. To open the document, we can click on PDF. We have to accept the terms and conditions, and then it opens it in a new window. From here we can choose to print or to save the article. If the article has a green circle at the side with a white tick, it means that we have full access to this article on this database. If it has an orange circle with a white arrow, it means we're going to have to look for it elsewhere. So, again, we look for the SFX link button, find out if UEA subscribes to it elsewhere, and if they do, we can press Go. There we go. So let's try modifying the search by adding a limiting factor. This time we're going to try adding an extra keyword. To do this, we need to do add a field. This time I'm going to type in Europe, because I only want information on how childhood obesity and advertising are affected in Europe. And here we go, it's taken us just down to 6 results. Like in the last database, if you would like to save your results, we can add them to the folder. In this case, we tick the box next to the name of the journal article. We can now choose to save them, email them, export them, or track them. To email them, click on Email Citation, type in the email where you would like it to go, give it a subject name, then you have to enter the words you see in the image and press Send. And this is the information you will receive in your email. Each link will give you full information which will assist you when you are referencing your assignment. So we've had a quick look at how to use databases. Remember to use the advanced search and set limits so you do not get overwhelmed by the results. Most databases are very similar, but if you ever have any questions, you can use the database help sections or come to the LRC and speak to a member of staff. UEA students also have access to thousands of electronic books. These are accessed for the UEA Library Catalogue Primo 1 search. So, from the catalogue we're going to enter in our search words, press search, now we need to refine our results so that the only results we see are ebooks. To do this, we're going to look at the Refine My Results section, Resources type, and click on ebooks. So up here you can see here is an ebook. To open it, it's just like opening a journal article. Click on Online Resource, and then Open Source in a new window. Sometimes you'll get results where it says there are two versions of this item. This is because the library stocks a physical copy of the book and an e-copy. To access the e-copy, we need to click on There are two versions of this item. And we can now see the ebook. Click on Online Resource. And it's opened the ebook for us online. Searching for information can be tricky. There is a massive amount of information available, which can leave you feeling overwhelmed and frustrated when searching. At university level, you need to be able to find the important information, and to do this, you will need to create precise and thorough search inquiries. You can use some search tips to improve your technique. To create a successful search inquiry, you need to spend time thinking about the relevant terms or keywords. You need to ask yourself, what is it I am looking for? And how could someone else talk about it? What keywords would they use? Think about if they have any synonyms or related terms that might be useful. To help, you can look at dictionaries, thesauri, and the keywords used in relevant journal articles. You will probably find that you will have to try a variety of different searches, testing out different combinations of keywords. When you find a successful combination, make a note of it and try it out in other databases. And if you are struggling to find the right information, try browsing related web pages and online encyclopedias using a search engine like Google. When you become more familiar with a topic, it will be easier to select the correct keywords. For example, the topic of food industry marketing and its link to childhood obesity. There are a number of different terms we could use for food industry, for example, food company or food companies. Instead of marketing, we could use words like advertising and promotion. Instead of childhood, we might need to think about children, child, or young people. Instead of obesity, you might need to think of overweight, weight problem, fat, junk food. So you'll need to try a range of combinations of different keywords. Most databases and search engines allow the use of Boolean logic. This means using the terms and, or, and not to broaden your search, that means to increase results, or to narrow your search, to decrease results. If you have too many results, you can use the word and or not. For example, orange and fruit will give you results which include both words, so you should get results about the fruit orange but not the colour orange. Fruit not orange will give you results about all the different types of fruit but not oranges. If you have too few results, you can use the word or. This will give you results which contain at least one of the results. For example, orange or lemon will give you results about either or both of these fruits. You can also do something called phrase searching. Usually, a search engine will return hits which contain individual search words regardless of their order. If you are searching for a phrase like childhood obesity or junk food, you can narrow down your search by putting the words in quotation marks. This will only search for results where the words are next to each other, instead of searching for anything to do with childhood and anything to do with obesity. Wildcards can be used to broaden your search, to include, for example, multiple endings of a word or different spellings. Using a question mark for woman will give you hits with women and woman. Using the question mark in globalization will search for globalization, the UK spelling, and globalization, the US spelling, and this means you won't have to search for both words. If you were only to search for one version of the word, for example, globalization, the UK spelling, you will only get results which are probably written by UK authors. So you will also need to check for authors who are writing using the American spelling. You can also use an asterisk to search for multiple endings of a word. For example, culture with an asterisk will give you hits which include culture, cultural, and culturally. You will find a search techniques help sheet in the LRC and on the Moodle page to help you improve your search technique. As you become more confident with different search techniques, you can start to put them together using something called search strings. For example, this search inquiry would give us information about how the orange industry promotes its products. So, if you need any help, you can find further information and help sheets on the LRC Moodle page, the LRC Blackboard page. You can also find help sheets in the LRC, and you can contact the LRC staff to ask questions in person or by email on lrc.london@uea.ac.uk.